What's up? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you all had an amazing Thanksgiving, and of course I hope you are looking forward to Christmas tomorrow and of course New Year's. Anyways, I for one am very excited for this year to finally come to an end. It's been hell. I mean, this has been one of the worst years for me and my family in a very long time. So I'm just ready for it to be over, and hopefully, 2021 will be the redemption year. But anyway, in this video, I will be talking about a bad trip that I had the night before Christmas back in 2014. But of course, before we get into that, if you are new to the channel, you should know that I am a recovering addict. I have 11 months of sobriety right now, and YouTube, along with other outlets, have helped so much to keep me clean and sober. Coming up on that year milestone, very exciting stuff. So with all that being said, here is what happened. So at this time in my life, I was smoking a lot of weed. I was doing acid here and there whenever I could, and every now and then I'd smoke K2. But this night I decided that I was going to trip, and I had 5 hits of acid in my drawer, and originally I was trying to save them for New Year's, but of course the addict within me would not allow me to hold off until then. So I decided I'm going to drop all 5 hits of acid all by myself. No one around to talk to, no one around to share the experience with, no friends online or anything like that, just me, myself, and 5 hits of acid. And this was, of course, the night before Christmas, so the neighborhood was very beautiful, Christmas lights everywhere, and all in the neighborhood, and we had a Christmas tree with beautiful lights in the living room, and I thought that this was seriously going to be such a beautiful trip. My plan was originally to drop acid, wait till I come up, and go walk around the neighborhood and just, trip on all the lights. And so I'm sitting in my room about 9 o'clock at night, about the time that everyone was starting to get ready for bed. They're starting to lay down, all that. And I wouldn't have to worry about someone coming and talking to me. And so I go into my drawer, pull out the tinfoil with 5 hits in it, and it was at that moment that I started to kind of rethink my decision on taking 5 hits, all 5 hits. And so I thought to myself, all right, let's just take 3. Just take 3, just wait, see how it makes us feel. And if it's good, then awesome. We don't need to take more, right? And so I popped the 3 hits, and then I go into my bathroom for whatever reason. And I don't remember what the reason for going to the bathroom was, but I remember in the moment, I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to take the rest. Whatever. I just want to guarantee that I'm going to have a good trip. Go back into my room, pop the other 2 hits, and now I'm certain I'm going to have a wonderful time. So I hop on my Xbox, I start playing Call of Duty, just waiting for the come up, right? And then about 45 minutes later, I'm coming up, and it is really, really, really intense. My whole body was kind of vibrating. I was getting very nervous and very anxious. And my cat was right next to me on the floor, and she was a calico, and she had a bunch of dark spots around her. And I remember looking at her, and I remember watching all of her hair, what looked like all of her hair, being lifted up as if there was static electricity, around her. I remember watching all the hair being lifted up, and I remember staring at it, and I remember seeing a bunch of different waves of colors going through her hair. It was crazy. And then when I looked back at her again, she was looking at something behind me on the floor, I guess, and she had this crazy, just crazed look on her face. Her eyes got real big, and her ears started going back a little, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm just tripping, right? And until I, of course, turned around to see what she was looking at, and the first thing that I see is a big, huge, dark red puddle in my carpet, just getting bigger and bigger. And I turned around after losing a Call of Duty match, so in that moment, I had that dark, losing music. When you lose the game on Call of Duty, when you lose a match online, it has that dark, kind of eerie music. And at the same time, I'm seeing a big, dark red, puddle stain in the carpet getting bigger and bigger. And so you can kind of sort of imagine where that took my mind. So it didn't take me too long to figure out that I had actually had a hole in the bottom of my red slushie that I completely forgotten was there. So now during a very intense come up on 5 hits of acid, I'm starting to panic and I'm having to clean up this huge stain in the carpet, and it was freaking impossible to get out. Like, it would not come out. So my mind is racing, my visuals are getting more intense by the second, my anxiety is going freaking crazy because I am in a really rough spot, like having to scrub this carpet as much as I possibly could to get this stain out. So I'm just quickly losing my mind, and eventually I did clean the stain out to the best of my ability. I was actually never able to get that stain out completely until we had moved. So now I'm starting to hit the peak, and it is extremely intense, obviously, and I can barely even walk through my house because everything is just moving like jello and I'm just kind of moving with it. So I go to the kitchen to go grab a water, and because I felt like I was dehydrating, which I wasn't at all. I felt like if I did not get some water in my system, that something in me was just going to completely stop working. I really wanted to calm down, but at this point it was too late. I mean, I had already taken the 5 hits with no respect of the drug itself, and because of that, it made its presence very known, and it let me know that it is definitely not something to be helped with. So I went outside to maybe, take a walk, look at the Christmas lights like I had planned, smoke a cigarette, and just relax, but I didn't even make it off the yard. As soon as I walked outside, I was stumbling all over the place, and it was windy, so of course I felt like the wind was like taking me with it, and my mind is still racing, and it's still only getting more intense, so I decided to just sit on my porch, smoke a cigarette, try to calm down. And I remember sitting on my porch, smoking a cigarette, staring out into the yard, watching all the grass just grow taller and taller and taller, and the longer I would stare at it, the taller it would get. And that kept me amused for a couple minutes, but it was windy, kind of chilly, and so I decided, alright, I'm still freaking out. I'm gonna go inside, go back to my room, try to listen to some music. Let's try that, something different. So I turned some music on from the Xbox, and I just lay in my bed. Now, I don't remember what song was playing, but I remember feeling like the song that was playing was talking directly to me in that moment. And so that made me feel very uneasy and very uncomfortable. So at this point, my mind was starting to spiral out of control. Music was freaking me out. No noise at all was freaking me out. I'm just trying to figure out what to do, man. And so I sit in my gaming chair, and I'm like thinking to myself, what can I do? What can I do to calm down this freaking trip? And while I'm doing that, my vision is like, it's getting pixelated. I was calling it pixel vision, and it was like seeing thousands and thousands of pixels in my field of vision, and they were all like different colors. And so I remember at one moment, I was looking out my door, like at first glance, outside of my door in the hallway, I remember what I thought I was seeing was a pixelated clown, a colorful pixelated clown just standing in my doorway. Like, I saw it at first glance. Now, it was creepy, don't get me wrong, that was very freaking weird. I'm not very scared, I'm not like scared of clowns, I don't have an irrational fear of them, but it was definitely weird and creepy. So I go back to my bed again, laying down, eyes closed, and for whatever reason, I started to feel like I was some kind of experiment for aliens. I remember seeing in my closed eye visuals what looked like I was in some kind of like futuristic alien pod, and there was a bunch of wires connected to me, and I remember thinking to myself, and even kind of hearing it, he needs more vitamin C. And so I hear that, and I start to feel my heart pumping a little bit, and I'm freaking out. I'm thinking, oh my god, if I don't get vitamin C, I'm going to die. So I run to my kitchen, I grab a jug of orange juice. The first thing I saw, and I was like, yes, vitamin C, I think this has that. And so I take a huge swig of it, and then I go back to my room, and I took the jug with me just in case. And of course, when I'm in my room, suddenly I start to feel like, oh my god, I need more vitamin C. It's not enough, I'm going to die. And so take the lid off, and I chugged the entire bottle, like all over me. Got all over my shirt, all over my face, all over the floor. I chugged the entire bottle of orange juice. And I actually felt like really refreshed. I remember telling myself, oh my god, that's what I had to do. That was it. That was the best thing that I've ever done. Orange juice all over the floor, all over my shirt. Didn't even think to clean it or change my shirt at least or anything. Just went about my trip. Now my mind is still racing at this point, and I would definitely have considered it to still have been a very difficult experience. I wasn't exactly having a good time at all. And so I take out my phone and I start texting and calling all my friends being like, hey man, I'm on acid right now. I'm having a really bad time and I just need you to come over here and just hang out with me for a few minutes. First response I got back was, just try taking a shower, man. You'll be alright. You'll be fine. And a couple sent me the voicemail, or well, they didn't send me the voicemail, but they just kept ringing the voicemail. And then finally, one of my somewhat okay friends, like mostly a friend of a friend, funny enough, he was actually the one that ended up coming through. And so he's like, hey, I'm gonna bring my friend with me. Is that cool? I'm like, dude, please bring a whole bunch of people. I am freaking out. And thankfully, he did not live too far. And so I go out to my front porch, start smoking a cigarette, just waiting for him to show up. And I remember all the shadows and all the darkness surrounding me was like moving, and it felt very, very alive. And I remember sitting there just sitting there like this. So he eventually does show up, him and his friend, and we hang out on the porch for about 20 minutes, smoking cigarettes, just talking. They're asking me what I'm experiencing, and they've never been on acid, and they're like, dude, damn, colors and stuff, man, it's crazy. And then I head back inside for a minute, and I go get a glass of milk, because I had heard somewhere before that milk could, kill your trip. And while it didn't kill the trip, it definitely did seem to calm it down a lot more. But then again, that could have just been because I had a couple friends come talk to me for 20 minutes, which I think that's really exactly all I needed to make me feel better. So after they leave, I head back inside, and I'm not really sure how long it's been at this point. I mean, I'm sure it's been a few hours by now. I started feeling a lot better, a lot more calm, and I remember getting some headphones, and I was listening to the Dark Side of the Moon album by Pink Floyd. And I know that's very cliche. I know how cliche that is, but it helped a lot. I mean, I told myself that night, oh my god, this album changed my life, man. Finally, somehow got to sleep, and then the next day, had Christmas with my family. We went and got some food and had a good time. Sadly, I did not get to take a walk and look at all the Christmas lights on acid. Of course, that was the original plan. That was supposed to be the main event of the night. I was supposed to go out and watch all the lights. I wanted to go look at the fucking lights, man. But you know what? That's okay, because that is exactly what I got for disrespecting such a powerful substance. And I definitely have a lot more respect for it today than I ever had. So that was my night before Christmas story. If you enjoyed listening to it, please be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and if you'd like to hear more stories like this, or you just want to follow my sobriety journey, then feel free to subscribe to the channel. I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas tomorrow, and awesome New Year's. Be safe, don't drink and drive. Just be safe, spend time with your family, eat a lot of food, and have an amazing holiday. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you very soon. Peace.